Hello. I thought I'd do this with some menacing lighting. Judging by what it looks like on the viewfinder on my computer, it looks really, dunno, dodgy. But anyway, yeah, I've got, that's a bit close. Got some DVDs to show that I've purchased in the last few weeks. Got a bit of a cold, that's why I'm a bit croaky. Yeah, the last few pickups videos I've done, I've whacked these all in together with all the video games, but I've barely got anything worth a whole video. So I thought I'd split it up because I've got more DVDs than video games, and you know, I'd like to. I'm having a problem explaining, but anyway, I thought I'd split it up. Anyway, that's the meat and potatoes of the issue. I thought I'd split it up. So I've got some DVDs to show. It's a bit late in the day, hence the weird light. I've tested it. I've tested to see if you'll actually be able to see what I'm showing you, and that's the most important thing. You don't really need to see me, do you? So I'm going to crack on. I've got them sat behind the camera over there, so I keep leaning in like this. So if I do that, don't be too disturbed. First one, I might just bring them closer. First one was my one and only carboot. Sun's going in. My one and only carboot purchase of recent weeks. So last time I went to the carboot sale, it's not the earliest because I've heard people go really early. I don't go that early, but it's still pretty early. I set my alarm for 6. Got the bus at 6:30 to get to the carboot sale just before 7. It's supposed to open at 8, but it's always people there way before 8. You know, there's always people there way before 7, even though they're supposed to open an hour later. But so I honestly don't always know why I bother, but this time I did. It's the potential, that's what it is. It's just the idea of missing out on something really good. That's why I keep going. Anyway, this is the one and only thing. I actually got ahead of myself and took some money out on the way. I thought, yeah, surely there's got to be something worth having. So I took some money out. And I'd already had a bit of money on me, so I had a decent wodge of money. I had it in my head that I was going to find something really good. But in the end, I only ended up spending 25p on this. It's the Water Babies. The Water Babies. It's the one where I've actually got a proper DVD version a good few months ago now. I told you, a weird angle. Good few months ago now, and in doing so, discovered that these things. This was free. Obviously, free with the Daily Mail. Daily Mail. But a lot of people were willing to pay over 10 quid for this. It's ridiculous. So every single charity shop car boot sale ever go in always has just thousands of these free CDs or free DVDs. So I reckon somebody somewhere is sitting on just a whole batch of these, not knowing that they're worth like a tenner each. So it's a bit knackered. So this is obviously to sell on because I've got a proper copy. Watched it. It's really good. No, it's a film from my childhood that I've got fond memories of. So, right, all the others, they're all for me. There's nothing mainstream in this batch, nothing mainstream. So nothing Michael Bay-esque. nothing with Jason Statham in it. So if that's your bag, like it's Pete. Sorry. If that's your bag, Pete, then you're probably best off turning off now. So yeah, or not. Who knows? You might oh, shut up. They're all they're all charity shop purchases, each and every one of them. Quite a nice little selection actually. First one is an anime called Tekken Concrete. It's Japanese made, but directed by a Frenchman, I think. Which I thought was a bit strange. Oh no, not necessarily a Frenchman, but somebody called Michael Arias. Which I thought was a bit odd. But I've seen this. I've not actually watched it, but I've seen it. It's been shown on Film 4 a few times. There you go. That's that. It's been shown on Film 4 a few times, and it's really distinctive looking. It's not like your standard anime, like big eyes. I mean, anime characters don't always necessarily look Japanese, do they? That's the thing I sort of noticed. They don't always look often, actually, they don't look Japanese, but in that they do, which makes it distinctive in itself. It looks really good. I mean, I watched about 10 minutes of it when I was going to watch it on Film 4, but I never ended up watching the whole thing. It's about two kids who live in. It's not actually in Japan. It's live in a town called Treasure Town, and it's based on a manga called Black and White, apparently. And these two kids, they fight aliens and Yakuza, which sounds really good. These are all out of weird order. All got them in the wrong order, but screw it. This one, they're all films I really wanted to see. This one's Essential Killing by a Polish guy called Jerzy Skolimowski, and it's about a terrorist. I think it's supposed to be a terrorist. Played by a guy called Vincent Gallo, who's a bit of a lunatic. He's a director and an actor, and actually I quite like him, but he's just a bit insane. But he plays this guy, and he's being rendered. Is it rendered? Is that the right term? Yeah, being rendered by the authorities, and he escapes into this sort of alien, snowy environment. He's sort of come from Afghanistan or something. It's supposed to be really good, and it's went to Venice Film Festival and won lots of awards. That's what it looks like. It's supposed to be really good. And this one's another jolly one called Melancholia by Lars von Trier. Lars von Trier, who's a very good, if you've not heard of him, he's a really good Danish filmmaker. I think he's Danish, yeah. Danish filmmaker of the Dogma school. Generally pretty controversial filmmaker. Hold it like that. This one, it's got Kirsten Dunst in it. Oh God, hold it that way. She's getting married. And she's got all this sort of stuff going on. You know, she's got troubles. I think I've not watched it, but I know the storyline. And so she's getting married, obviously. And as a side note, the world's about to end. So there's this rogue planet called Melancholia, is about to crash into Earth, collide on a collision course of Earth. I don't know how it ends, but being Lars von Trier, it won't have Bruce Willis in it to sort of deflect it with some carefully placed nuclear devices. So, this is really, no, I have seen this one. This is really good. It's called Three Burials, formerly known as Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. It's a western. It's Tommy Lee Jones's directorial debut. It's really good. It's not a recent, not an old film. It's from 2005. So I mean, took a while to make his directorial debut, and it's basically he's an old ranch hand, a cowboy in Texas, I think, and his friend, a Mexican man, gets killed by a border guard. So he kidnaps the border guard and forces him to take his Mexican friend's body by horseback back to his homeland to bury him, essentially. It forces him to carry it on the back of a horse, so they're all on horses, basically. And it's quite dark, but really it represents a really distinctive, new, fresh voice. It's essentially a western. It's a contemporary western. It's a fresh sort of take on the western, and you can tell just from this first film that Tommy Lee Jones has got some talent as director, and it's really sort of really interesting, new, fresh, original style to it, and it's a lot funnier than you might imagine from the content, but yeah, and it's got fair amount of violence in it, stuff like that, and dark humour. I'll just stop leaning in like this. Now these next three are all sealed. They're all sealed. I won't. They're not all. Two of them from one place. This one, it's Caprica. It's the pilot for Caprica. It's the precursor or the prequel to Battlestar Galactica, and obviously it's sealed. I don't really not seen it, but I never got to see this on telly because I don't have Sky, and I will never have Sky. Out of principle. This again, it's all sealed. I got this from a charity shop, and with one of these others I'm about to show you, not the next one, but the one after. I was going to get them 1 week. Didn't have any cash on me. They didn't. There was like a minimum for £5 on credit cards or bank card transactions, so I had to leave it. I went back next week and it was still there. No one wanted it, except for me. So obviously that's how much in demand it is. It's a Caprica. Bollocks. So, and if it's as good as Battlestar Galactica, it'll be brilliant, because Battlestar Galactica, fucking hell, what did it right way? Battlestar Galactica is one of my favourite ever television programmes. That was £1, by the way. Actually, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. Not at the same time, but I did on a different occasion. I got Adam and Joe the DVD, and I don't know what came first. Was it Adam and Joe or Robot Chicken? Is it Robot Chicken that did the Star Wars animations? I think Adam and Joe definitely came first, so they should pay Robot Chicken should pay homage to Adam and Joe. Unless I'm getting totally confused, then ignore what I'm saying. But I love Adam and Joe, brilliant. If anyone's ever seen Adam and Joe Go Tokyo, it's hilarious. But that's obviously it's a selection of sketches from their old television programme, which is basically them sitting in their bedroom doing all this sort of really studently lo-fi stuff, but it's brilliantly hilarious. And they've all gone on to do like other things, like especially if you've not seen it, check out Adam Buxton's Bug. You can get all episodes. It's on used to be on Sky. It might still be on Sky, but you can get all the episodes on YouTube, and it's essentially him taking the piss out of YouTube comments. Which is, it's a bit like shooting fish in a barrel, because there's so many people like making twats themselves without knowing it in YouTube comments. But this one came with Caprica. This is by the same guy who made. It's by Jared Hess, the same guy who made Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. It's not as good as Napoleon Dynamite, but it's definitely better than Nacho Libre. It's called Gentleman Broncos. And it's got It's got Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords in it. It's good actually. It's really strange. It's very strange. It's got that same sort of not out of time. It's sort of behind the time. No, what's the word? There's a word for it. It's almost not timeless. That's the wrong word. It's in a sort of the land that time forgot almost. It's like it's set in contemporary times where everybody dresses like they're in the 80s. But it's this kid who's basically dad disappeared or died when he was young, and he's obviously been lacking a father figure, and he's sort of this weird geeky withdrawn kid. But He writes stories about his dad, essentially. He makes them up. He writes sci-fi stories. It's really bizarre, sort of really like entertaining, because they actually play out actually, and that's right. That's a good part of the film in itself. But and he goes to this this sort of writing convention where he meets his hero. I've forgotten his name. He's called meets his hero. I've forgotten the character's called. Where is it? No, I can't. Where is it? The character is called. Well, it's played by Jermaine Clement. He plays this sort of really cheap, nasty sort of pulp science fiction author who ends up ripping off one of his storylines, and that's the basic story of the film. Yeah, it's played by him. There you go. That's Jermaine Clement there, and it's really good. It's got Sam Rockwell in it. It's got a good cast actually, but it's really good fun. It's a lot weirder. It's got that same. Napoleon Dynamite eccentricity, but with a whole level of weird on top of it, mainly coming from these sort of scenes which are essentially the story from his books playing out. But and that was sealed as well. I would have had another sealed DVD. Well, I went to a charity shop a few days ago and I was going to get this film called Gomorrah. It's like an Italian gangster film set in Naples, and it's like really it's social realism. It's a gangster film playing out social realism, and that was sealed as well. And it was a what is it? It was a limited, not a limited edition, a special edition. So it had 2 DVDs. It had like an extras disc, and I took it to the counter, and it's the same charity shop as last time, where it was the batty old woman next door, like telling the kebab shop people to fuck off, and and it was the same old woman behind the counter. I went, oh, like, no, woo. That's the noise, isn't it? It's woo! Like that. But anyway, I stood at the counter. She knew I was in the shop. And there's other people in the shop. I stood at the counter, and it's a really tiny little shop. So there's not really anywhere you can go. And I stood at the counter, but she had her back. She was doing something with her back to the counter. I stood there for about 5 minutes, and I didn't really know how to get her attention without appearing rude. And as you might be able to hear, I've got a bit of a cold, and. So I did sort of need a cough, but not properly, and then I just sort of half pretended to cough to get her attention, but actually did sort of half need a cough anyway. And she turned around and I felt a bit rude, and she said to me, she did sort of laugh, and then she said to me, "Sorry, but the eyes in the back of my head aren't working today." And I didn't know how to take that. Was she being narky? Well, she was laughing though. But normally when you say sorry, I haven't got eyes in the back of my head, that means you're being narky, but. I said, "Can I have this, please?" And DVDs are supposed to be £2, and she'd obviously started off not really being on the ball, not knowing sort of her surroundings. She didn't know I was standing there for 5 minutes, but then she went from being the sort of the dippiest old goat going to the most overly efficient charity shop worker that there's ever been, because she spotted the fact that it said 2 DVDs on this sealed edition of this film, and tried to charge me twice as much money, because she was taking their pricing literally as, oh, it's got 2 DVDs, isn't it? So I said, is it per disc then? And I was sort of, you know, I was sort of with sort of resignation, and I don't know, she wasn't really getting the gist of it. She was just being overly specific and overly literal with their pricing policy, so it was really pissed me off. She made me put it back on the shelf as well, because she was old and she was pretending that she didn't know what day it was. I mean, you make your mind up, old woman. But anyway, so I would have had another sealed DVD, but anyway. Finally, this is the best one of the lot. This only cost me 50p. It's called Exit Through the Gift Shop. If anyone's ever seen this, I've never seen it, but I've wanted to. It's by Banksy, the graffiti artist. I'm not a massive fan of Banksy. I think he's essentially, he makes artistic one-liners. There's not a lot of depth to them, and there's a certain cynicism to his work as well, which I don't really like. But you know, he plays a role, and he sort of brings art to sort of a wider audience, which is good in itself, and he creates this whole idea of sort of authorship and who it's public art, so it belongs to, like, I think There was a story recently, in the last month or so, about a London council who there was a Banksy on one of their local buildings, and they it appeared one day as it normally does, and they took it off. I think they took it off this wall. They took the wall away, literally took the wall away, and sold it, which is a bit low, but it does at the same time create this idea of who does this art belong to? It's public art, but they sort of claimed it. It was on their building, but it had been made by someone else. But anyway, it's not a documentary. Or is it a documentary? I've never quite understood what it is, but it's quite interesting because it's got its extras. This is the special edition, and it's got this weird stuff in it. It says special features. It says exclusive DIY sticker set, which it has. Yeah, there's got stickers in it, and they're still in there. Movie outtakes and deleted scenes. Previously unreleased MBW documentary. In brackets, it says lawyer's edit. I don't know what that means. And then obviously B movie, exclusive Banksy short. But I just wanted to show you all this stuff in there because it's really interesting. It's got all this. So there's the inside. So it's got these postcards. It's all like a Banksy there. And in fact, it's got certain things in about. It mentions Shepard Fairey, who you might well know. He's another graffiti artist. Probably I prefer his work more actually. And he's created that Obey. Is it Obey that you get on baseball caps? Which is Obey, and the you might have seen these sort of face stencils that you see around. But apparently he's in the film as well. Or he's mentioned in it, or he's featured. But they've got these rats with glasses on and some stickers. This is where I draw the line. No food or drink illustrations allowed beyond this point. There you go. And notice, any person found painting graffiti on these premises will be reported to the nearest art dealer. So that's your typical Banksy sort of. You know, he's not my favourite, but he's at least he creates some sort of debate. But also, these are my favourite things. It comes with these unique 2D viewing glasses, and it says on the inside, exit through a gift shop, special 2D viewing glasses for maximum viewing pleasure. Simply put on glasses, start DVD, and look out of the window. I don't know if you're gonna. This is totally pointless, but it's obviously not going to work. Yeah, so I thought my computer got a bit weird. I don't know if you're going to... Can you guess? No, you're not going to say that, are you? Well, I don't know, you might. What it is, it sort of polarises the light, so it almost like creates lens flare, and it's really strange. Everything just... It is really trippy. Like, if anybody can ever get hold of some of these, I'll recommend it. It's like the opposite of 3D glasses. They just really fuck everything up. Everything, it reflects all the light, and so you can see like rainbows around everything. And you know, if you look at the light, it sort of creates these little like a sort of star effect, this sort of multicoloured star going off it. But it's really trippy anyway. I don't even know how this video is going to turn out, but I'm gonna leave it here. So. Thanks for watching. I'm going to watch this back and see if it's worth uploading because, like I said, the light's been fucking up all the way through. So see you later. There probably will be a pickups video coming up soon, and we're going to do a response to the 16-bit brothers last video. So cheers, dudes and dudettes.